Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. As you can probably see from this here, I am back from Japan, and I thought my first video back from Japan absolutely had to be my Hobonichi haul. I went to Japan on the 3rd of September, which coincided very nicely with the 2025 Hobonichi launch, which meant that I could go to the Hobonichi store in Tokyo and do my big Hobonichi purchase in person, look at all the good stuff in real life and drink it all in, and yeah, make one big purchase and save a good amount of money by doing it that way. I mean, obviously I paid for the flights and everything. Like, ignoring that, I priced up everything that I bought on the website, and yeah, even before shipping, I think I saved about 60 quid, which is not a small amount of money when you are, you know, buying your planners for next year. So yeah, first video back, little unboxing, well, unbagging of my Hobonichi haul, and just talking through what I've bought for next year and how I plan on using all of it. Okay, so I did the kind of unbagging off camera, just so I could stack everything up nicely and kind of talk through everything that I've purchased as I go along. As you will see, there are 3 pens, which means I bought 3 books, spoiler alert, but I'm going to start with what is on the top, which is this drawer pouch. So this is the small drawer pouch, which I will open up and show you just in case you're not aware of the setup of it. And I was kind of open to getting a pouch while I was away. I didn't necessarily need one, but I kind of thought I would quite like to get like a new Delphonics or maybe a Superior Labour or something like that. But when I was in the shop, I saw this, and this is like the bow and tie fabric, if you're familiar, and it's a design that I haven't seen before, and I don't know whether it's just an old design that they had a couple of in the shop. I didn't see any other pouches of this design. I don't think it was literally just the small drawer pouch, but it is super cute. Like, I absolutely adore this. And although the small drawer pouch isn't my favorite layout, I couldn't leave this. Like, how cute is that? And like, it's not on the website. I need to do some digging and see if I can work out kind of what year it's from, or if it's, I mean, it can't be a Japanese exclusive because they put the Japanese exclusives on the website. They just say you can only order it if you're in Japan. So not too sure where it came from, but given how super adorable it is, I had to have it. I did say I was going to open it so you could see kind of the layout. So also orange inside, which is another win because I love a good orange and yellow. And yeah, this is the layout. So on the right hand side you have a zip pouch here, and then you do have some elastics there so you can put pens in, and then on the left hand side you just have 3 slots, and then you do have a back slot as well. I have had a small drawer pouch before. I just had the basic yellow one several years ago and sold on. Oh wow, they match. See, you can tell that I like orange. Yeah, I had a small drawer pouch a few years ago, sold it on because I couldn't quite make it work for me. However, for this cute design, I needed to make it work for me. I think it will live on my desk. I'm not much for kind of traveling about with loads of stationery, but yeah, really happy with it. So that was purchase number 1. Number 2, so I kind of ummed and ahed on a weeks this year because I am going to change up how I do my EDC, I think. So I didn't necessarily need a weeks, and then I've kind of been thinking about my work setup, and although I like the Jibun daily that I use, I have used a weeks in the past and I really like it. And I kind of thought, while I'm in Japan and I can get whatever I want, like what would I go for in an ideal world? And I was like, actually, I'd quite like to try weeks again, because although I'm liking the Jibun, I don't necessarily need all of that space every single day. I do think I could make the weeks work again really well. So yeah, and it gave me a reason to actually buy the weeks, because it would feel weird to not buy a week. So I've had one at least one every year since 2018. So I was like, I need to get one, which yeah, sounds bad, but I do have a use for it. I'm going to use it for work. I'm not going to buy a Jibun. I didn't buy a Jibun while I was over there, and yeah, got the English version of it in the nice grey, because that was the thing actually with the the Hobonichi weeks for 2025, I wasn't a huge fan of any of the designs. There was one I think I put in my video that I really liked, but I wasn't like 100% sold on it. And then there's the Moomin one, which I said to myself, if I see a Moomin one in person in the Moomin shop, I will get that one. I didn't see it, they didn't have it. I also quite liked the F1 one, and again, I was like, if I stumble upon an F1 one, then I'll get that because it's super cool. But didn't see any of those, so I did go for just the nice, simple grey weeks for work for 2025. Like I say, have used it before. I foresee no issues with using it again, and it'll be quite nice to have something a little bit smaller, because although the jib one is working absolutely fine, I don't need to change it for this year. I do think this will be a better one for next year. And then because I got that, I obviously got my first pen. Now, I was a little bit underwhelmed by the pen when I saw it on reveal day, and I don't know why, because it's a pairing of orange and yellow, two colours that I really love. I think it's because in the images when I first looked at it, it looked more red than yellow, and I was a bit disappointed, but obviously in person it is a lot more orange. So yeah, big fan of this, so glad I've got 3. Next up we have the size that I have said many times does not work for me, but I have a new idea for next year. So one of the things that I'm doing this year in terms of kind of scrapbooking is in my standard TM. It's working reasonably well. I'm enjoying it, but it's just, I don't know, most of the years I've scrapbooked in a cousin, and I didn't want to do a cousin again because it gets really thick, and I want to use the cousin for other things as well. And I don't like having the scrapbooking and kind of everything else in the same book. I do like to have it separate. And then I thought, well, why don't I go for an A6, and that way I can kind of keep all of my scrapbooking together in kind of a nice size. I buy the Avec so that it doesn't get too big, because that was the thing when I did it in the cousin, like by the end of the year the book was like this big because I used the full year cousin. But also I quite like the idea of using the blank pages where I'm not necessarily specifically scrapbooking, just using it as a bit of kind of journal space, like a bit of very simple, a bit like what I'm doing in the standard TN as well in the other insert, which I shared last week. Yeah, doing something like that so that I've got something on every page, and it might be quite a nice way to kind of ease into some daily journaling or just kind of writing about the day, bit of creativity, and then my scrapbook, and then I've got like a whole year's worth of really nice things to hopefully flick through. What I will still do is for holidays, like big holidays, I will stick with my standard TN, and I've bought some of the inserts for a short trip from the Travellers Company store, because I do need the space for holidays. But for kind of just general day-to-day scrapbooking and things like that, this size is fine. But for holidays and things like that where there's a lot going on, I know this won't be big enough, because that was one thing that I found with the cousin, is that it wasn't big enough sometimes to kind of fit everything on a page. Because it's the Avec, it doesn't come in the English version, which is fine because I don't mind the Japanese. It helps me with my Japanese learning, so yeah, that's all good for me. Then I obviously got a pen and a notebook. So this year the free gift was a notebook. Let's see what design we got. Yeah, it's a pretty one. Very nice. Such a good size notebook as well. Like, you get a good amount of pages in here. Quite a shiny cover. Love it. Always good to have an extra notebook. And then to also go with the A6, I got this cover, and I guess my leaning into the A6 was partially due to really liking this cover. This is the trade-in. I will probably do a separate video on this, because someone did comment on my video where I was talking about what I was interested in for 2025, around that they haven't seen many kind of proper reviews of this cover, so I will do probably a separate video on it. So I won't kind of spend too much time on it, because this is more of a overview video. But for those that don't know, the tray gun is a trifold. So you put your book in here like this, fold it over, and then you have this at the front. It then means that you have a pocket to keep things in. So what I really loved about the A6 idea is that if I'm going to use it as my scrapbook, it means that I can use this front pouch to kind of keep things that when I have time to sit down and scrapbook, if there's, you know, certain events or things and tickets and things like that, I can just pop it in here and then it's all together, and then I've got everything in one place, a bit like what I have with the standard TN, but just in a more kind of sleek kind of book really, or kind of size, because the standard TN is a bit bigger. Yeah, and it's also got a pocket at the back as well, so there's lots of space to kind of keep things, so that when it comes to sitting down and doing scrapbooking, I've got everything kind of nice and neatly organized, ready to go. And hopefully it means that I can kind of collect a few more bits and do a bit more, because at the minute I kind of do scrapbooking when something big happens. I don't do much kind of capturing my day, so if I go and get a coffee or something like that, I don't then kind of keep anything and scrapbook, because it doesn't feel worth it. Whereas kind of part of the draw of doing the A6 is to do a bit more kind of almost mundane daily scrapbooking, and just to try and encourage me to do a bit of creative something every day, and maybe a little bit of writing about my day, and a way to do it that feels useful, if that makes sense. You know, it is, rather than, because although I quite like my creative pages in the standard TN where I just kind of put some stickers and pictures and things like that, and I'm using the pages for those quotes, I do quite like the idea of having a bit more of a reason, I guess, to do pages. So if it is just, you know, cataloguing the mundane thing of, oh, I went out for dinner, here's the receipt, and doing the creative journaling around it and maybe a little bit of writing, I feel like I could quite get into that. We'll see, it might all go wrong, but that's kind of thoughts for now. Next up, we have my cousin, obviously. Love a cousin, and again, I was kind of thinking, do I need a cousin for 2025? And I went back and forth on it, and then it was do I need a cousin, or could I get away with a day free because I don't necessarily need the daily pages? But then I feel like I would miss having the daily pages, and I would miss having the weekly pages, and it was a thing of, I could get a day free, but then I might miss some things, whereas I could just get a full cousin and then I've got everything, and if I don't use it, it's not the end of the world, but at least then I've got it. And I'm basically going to be using this next year for how I've used it currently for this year. So it is basically like a commonplace book, so I'll use it for like shop planning and YouTube and things like that, and then any notes that I want to make, any kind of side planning, holidays, house stuff, that'll all go in here. So yeah, I could probably have got away with a day free, but I like the idea of being able to drop into weekly planning if I just want to do like a creative spread, or if I've got a busy week and want to kind of use up the whole page. And also because of how I'm going to change up my EDC, this might end up becoming kind of my main planner, and my EDC just has kind of top line plans in it. That's still kind of a thought, a work in progress. We'll see on that one. But it was just I'd rather get the full cousin and have everything in it and not use it, rather than get the day free and then regret the bits that I've missed. To me, it made sense, and there wasn't a huge amount of price difference between the two, to be honest. So I was like, yeah, no, let's go for that. And then obviously a pen, and let's open up the other notebook, see if I've got the same design. I haven't. Ooh, that's a pretty one. Oh, I do like that one. Don't need more notebooks, but they always come in handy, is my approach. And then in terms of the other bits that I bought, because I did buy a couple of other things. So I had to grab some Paddington, because I couldn't not. I wasn't a huge, the Weeks was out of stock, and because I was going to use it for work, I was like, not sure. So that was fine, but I did want something Paddington. So I did pick up this little pouch with stickers. The pouch is really cute, and then these are just some flake stickers. Can't go wrong with stickers, so yeah, they obviously got thrown in the basket. I then bought this. So this is a pack of double-sided sticky tape. So I have double-sided sticky tape on a roll, but I like the idea of just having some smaller bits in a way that is kind of ready to go and use if I am kind of doing any kind of slight journaling when I'm out and about, or if I go on holiday or go away for a few days and maybe take the A6, it can fit in here. So it probably will live in here. And then I've just got some bits of stickiness ready to go. And what I probably will do is save the paper, and then when these sheets are done, is then just refill it with my roll of double-sided tape. And then I've always got kind of small bits for on the go. I also bought a pencil board for A6 because I don't own one. I was going to get the Panda one from last year because they had that in stock, but this one's cuter. Like, I felt really sad because I love pandas and it felt natural to get the Panda one, but when you put that next to this one was just so much cuter. I think this one is from last year or this year, I can't remember now. But yeah, super cute, had to have it. And then finally, I bought myself a tote bag from the shop itself, kind of intending to use this to then put the order in, or to put the shopping in, but then for tax-free reasons in Japan, they had to put it in the bag, so we either needed to pay tax on it and I could have it separate, or it all goes in the bag. I was just like, it's fine, it can all go in the bag. So yeah, that was my Hobonichi haul for 2025. I'm very excited to have bought it in person. I wouldn't say that I'm kind of 100% clear on how I'm going to use everything, because I have had to kind of sort that out quite early on because of when we were going to Japan, but I'm pretty comfortable with what I've bought and how I'm going to make everything work for me for 2025. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Please let me know in the comments what you bought for 2025. Have you received your order yet, or are you waiting for maybe like the One Piece launch or something like that? And did you get the Paddington before it went out of stock? Keen to hear who snapped that up. If you did like this video, please like and subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Bye.